700-pound tongue weight is no problem. Leave me alone, buddy. Hey guys, I used to tow my 14-foot enclosed trailer all over the country using a 48-inch extension paired with an Anderson weight distribution hitch. At the time, that setup was necessary, and it did a great job for the 10,000 to 15,000 miles I towed with it. But now, I've converted the trailer into a mobile workshop, and this means I no longer need the extension or weight distribution setup. The Anderson hitch was great, but it's not what I need for my current towing situation. A few months ago, I started researching adjustable drop hitches, and of course, I've seen and heard plenty about WaySafe hitches. And what really caught my eye was the integrated tongue weight scale. Now, I've tried measuring tongue weight the old-fashioned way, with a bathroom scale and some boards, and let me tell you, it wasn't the most convenient process. All right, so a little campground ingenuity to figure out what my tongue weight is. 227, so about 460 pounds, it looks like. The ability to directly measure tongue weight could be a real game changer, especially when I'll be towing different types of trailers over time. So with my new towing needs in mind, I contacted WaySafe and asked if they would send me their 10-inch drop hitch for me to test and review. They agreed and sent it over free of charge in exchange for an honest review video. Originally, I had hoped to record the unboxing and assembly of the hitch, however I lost all of the audio, so instead, I'm sharing my 1,000-mile review of the 10-inch WaySafe drop hitch. While researching WaySafe hitches, I found some common user complaints. The most common concern I could find was about the play in the weight measurement system. Another common complaint is the occasional failure of the hydraulic scale itself. It just means that the seals for the hydraulic scale have failed and lost all its fluid. I did ask WaySafe for an official response regarding the scale failures, and I'll cover that later in the video. Over the past 6 weeks, I've logged about 1,000 miles with a new hitch towing my tool trailer and an unexpected car hauling trailer. Stick around as I share my impressions of the hitch, and I'll even take the hitch apart towards the end of the video to see how it fared after 1,000 miles of towing. But first, let's get the old hitch removed and install the new WaySafe hitch. So I've come outside and I've removed the chains from the old Anderson weight distribution hitch. I'm going to leave the brackets in place just in case I end up having to tow this trailer with something else like a small SUV or something like that. This might still come in handy. I'm going to remove the old Anderson hitch and the hitch lock. This lock is quite old and I'm really excited to have a new one. When I placed my order with WaySafe, I made sure to get the full lock accessory kit. All of the locks are key-to-like, which means I only need one key to open everything. Which now means I can lock the tongue of my trailer, the hitch, and I have an extra padlock to use for something else, all using the same barrel key. Little technical issue, I gotta try to get this unlocked. It actually feels like it's bound up. So rather than using something like dry graphite powder, I'm gonna use WD-40. I just had this off like 2 days ago, so I don't know what's wrong with it. When in doubt, hit it with a hammer, I guess. I have entirely too many keys, but they all do something. There we go. Well, I guess this is going directly in the dumpster because I don't trust it anymore. I'm gonna remove the Anderson hitch, set that off to the side in the shade because it's so hot. Actually, I want to do a measurement first. So I'm pretty sure this was a 6-inch drop. What do we have here? It's about 19.5 inches to the top of the ball, roughly. And that's making the trailer a little tall in the front, which means the back drags sometimes when I go through drainage ditches and things like that. So I'm just going to slide that in and take a quick measurement. To the top of the ball, we're now at 15 3/4. That's a pretty significant drop. That's good. WaySafe also has they call it the 180 hitch, and it's a ball on the top and a ball on the bottom, which would be great if you're frequently changing balls. I didn't want one of those because I'm mostly going to be using the 2-inch, and I didn't want an extra protrusion sticking down that it's going to hit on things. Because right now I only have about 10.5 inches of clearance, which isn't that much. During the checkout process, I chose a 10-inch drop length with a 2.5-inch shaft size, which fits my truck perfectly. And I chose a 2-inch and a 2 5/16 toe ball. Of course, you can change these options to suit your needs. Don't forget to enter the discount code STONYBOOT when you're checking out to get 15% off your order. So we have 2 holes here, and I'm hoping that I can use the closest one. I can, look at that. So that's the first hole. This is the second hole. I gotta say, this locking pin looks very nice. So we have that. I'm gonna put that through. And then I'll put this on. You know what, I'm wondering, if I lock it like that, can I just push it on? I can. That's great. So of course, like any hitch, there's gonna be a little bit of play. I'll probably end up getting a hitch tightener for this. There's shims available, but I prefer just that plain old hitch tightening U-bolt that goes around this. It looks great. So now I'm ready to hitch up. I did do a previous video on this guy right here. This is an UltraFab Phoenix 4000. It's the fastest electric tongue jack on the market, and I was really impressed with it. I set memory 1 as my unhitched position, so I'm just gonna push this. That's how high I used to have to go with the Anderson hitch, but obviously you can tell that's too high now. So let me get my tools out of the way. I'm gonna fire up the truck and back up. I'm pretty well positioned now. Just so I don't forget, I'm gonna reset my memory. I'm gonna reset memory 1 by holding that. Should be able to see the weight now. What do we have? Looks like about 550 pounds. It's kind of what I expected. I had about 400 to 450 pounds. This generator is 100 pounds, and this is like 40 pounds, something like that. Plus, I made all the changes inside the camper, and I don't have much weight in the back. So 550 pounds. I don't think the trailer is at 5,000 pounds, but it might be. I want to see how level the trailer is. This was always too high in the tongue. So I have 10 inches here and 11 inches here. So I could actually go up just a tiny bit, which I think I'm gonna do. Why not? That's the whole point. Memory 1. So if I was 10 in the front and 11 in the back, I really need about a ½ an inch. Oh, that's so easy, look at that. So I just went up 1 notch. Auto retract here. Now we have maybe 11, 10 3/4. And it looks about 10 3/4 back here too. So just like that, I went up 1 pinhole and it's perfectly level now. I'm really happy with that. The trailer looks much better now. I didn't get footage before, but it was kind of this way. So I'm happy with this change. That's a nice looking hitch. That looks really good. I know it's a hitch and it shouldn't matter how it looks, but it looks really nice. It's very, very pretty. Quite impressed with the quality. The pins slide off and on easily. I'm hoping this cover stays on for long periods of time. I have a torque lift super hitch. It's rated for 20,000 pounds with weight distribution, and that would be a 2,000 pound tongue weight. But without it, I'm still good up to a 17,000 pound trailer and 1,700 pounds of tongue weight. But this hitch is actually rated at 2,200 pounds and an 18,500 pound trailer. And the scale is good. It looks like it's up to 2,200 pounds on this. That's pretty impressive. That's a lot of weight. It's obviously rated to handle my tiny little trailer. Max I'm gonna be with this trailer is about 6,000 pounds. However, it's the other stuff that I might tow. Travel trailers, bigger trailers. I have about 2 hours of driving to do tomorrow, and my hope is to throw a GoPro somewhere over here so I can watch the scale. When you're going up and over bumps and things like that, you have a lot of weight loading on that. So even though it's 550 pounds of static weight, how much weight is on there when I'm going down the road and I hit some big bumps? I want to see what the scale needle does. So that'll be next. So you can see here a little bit of jostling back and forth, but really the shaft that supports the ball barely moves. However, when I disassemble the hitch, this is some of the stuff I'd like to inspect. How much wear is there? You can also see the main shank is moving back and forth, but that can easily be solved with a hitch tightening device. And of course I can understand why it would do that given the fact that it's a drop hitch. I was curious how it handles some of these obstacles and going over curbs and bumps and things like that. And of course it stays solid just like you would expect. Now keep in mind for this test drive I did not lubricate anything except for the ball itself. I wanted to put some miles on it to see what would actually wear internally. And just as I suspected, the needle on the gauge is going to bounce around as I drive down the road. So it really shows you all the variations and forces that the hitch sees. Like here, it's jumping between what seems to be 0 and 1,000 pounds. Now that my curiosity has been satisfied, we can move on to the next chapter of the video. Hey guys, so unexpectedly, we decided to buy a car. We found a good deal and we drove like, 88 miles. It's the car we want. And rather than having her drive it back through the city, which she's not super comfortable with, I've been doing all the driving for like the last 4 years, and we decided to rent a U-Haul trailer. It was like $100 to haul the car home. It's much easier that way. This is the perfect opportunity for me to actually use my WaySafe hitch. I have to pick up an auto transport trailer, they call it, and I'm gonna be able to see what the initial tongue weight is. I just thought randomly that this would be a really cool example of why I wanted a hitch with a scale on it. You never know what you're gonna end up towing. I didn't have a 7-pin adapter, so they had one. It was like $16. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do. We'll see what my initial tongue weight is. 100, 200, 300, 400. Yeah, so about 225, 250. Good. Okay, let's go. Get your car. It's gonna be quick and easy. So I think total was like, what, $109 for the trailer rental. We're gonna be able to take it from here, tow it about, what, 85 miles back to close to where we live. It's easier than having to drive back and forth. We got all our insurance all set, so we can actually take it home and finally drive it. That'll be nice. I got a few hundred miles on my cargo trailer now, but that was the only thing I've towed with it. So this is a nice little demonstration of the tongue weight piece. And I was thinking I'd be able to rock the car forward and backward until I got the right tongue weight, but it looks like this has fixed positions for the wheels. So I think the car is only like 4,200 pounds, so I don't think it'll be a big deal. Oh, no, I gotta go all the way up.
Oh, I thought that was the spot.
But I gotta come up to here. But I'm curious what the tongue weight is. So that's like 400 pounds.
A little more. A little more. That's it. Yep. Is it better now?
Yes.
Cool.
All right, I gotta strap it down. It's getting hot. My phone's about to overheat. What do we got? We got, let's see, 500, 600, 700 pounds. Now that I'm viewing the footage, I just want to point out that moving the car forward that 10 to 12 inches changed the tongue weight from 400 pounds to almost 800 pounds. So it really shows you how shifting the load on a trailer can really affect tongue weight in just a few inches. The car is 35 to 3,800 pounds, let's say 38, so yeah, it's pretty nose heavy. You can actually see it's nose heavy, but luckily, I don't know, 700 pound tongue weight is no problem. Anyways, on the road, it's hot. It's 100 and, well, it says 99, but I think it's closer to the 104.
It's like everything is on fire. I feel like in Texas you need summer gloves. Yeah, like heat resistant gloves.
Well, for doing like roof repairs on the campers, I need my gloves and I need knee pads because I remember I burned my knees that one day. Okay.
Oh, watch out for the hitch. He got you.
On my spine.
Sorry, honey.
All right, it's all loaded up. It's a 2008, but it's only got 80,000 miles on it. It's in great shape. All right, we're still on the road here. We're almost home, but this guy, he has been tailgating me the entire way. Look how close he is. Look at that. Leave me alone, buddy. All right, still windy out. It's 108 degrees here. It's pretty hot. But anyways, we made it home. The hitch obviously did fine. I still find the scale pretty useful. And it's a pretty hitch. It's very attractive. I like the adjustability. That was nice. So overall, I'm very happy. It's a lot better than my old hitch. I don't really need a lot of weight distribution with this truck, so it's kind of nice having that. It's a really nice, high quality hitch. And when not in use, I can always, of course, flip it around. And for now, I'm gonna unload the car and then we need to go grocery shopping. When was the last time you drove?
About 4 years ago. It's definitely a lot more, and I cannot stress that enough, more comfortable than the truck.
Yeah.
No offense.
No camper on it, no trailer behind it. Do you like your new car?
Yeah, it's really nice.
Now it's time for me to take the hitch apart and see what it looks like inside. Like I said previously, I only lubricated the ball using some graphite powder. I didn't lubricate any other aspect of the hitch because I wanted to see where the wear spots were and where I need to lubricate in the future. It's been hovering around 110 degrees today, so I'm going to take the hitch off and bring it inside the trailer and work on it in there where it's a little bit cooler. I forgot to mention it earlier, but this tongue lock is actually really useful. I needed to get one anyway, so I figured getting it as part of the kit made a lot of sense. I need to get a carabiner for this someday. Save me a few seconds. Memory wand. Also, like I said, I have entirely too many keys. I've got to trim it down one of these days. But I do like having everything keyed the same. Makes my life a lot easier. That padlock, I don't actually have a use for yet, but I plan on using it in the future. All right, let's go inside the trailer where it's a little bit cooler and take a look at the hitch. This was the other ball that came with it. It's a 2 5/16, which I'm probably not going to use anytime soon, but it's certainly nice to have. And this is the hitch. It's in pretty good shape. You can see it got some water spots on it, but really nothing major. This is obviously from where it was resting against the receiver hitch. And this is that other padlock they give you. I'll certainly find a use for it. It's nice that the keys are all the same. Like I said, I have the problem where all these keys go to something different. I have a million different locks and boxes and things like that. I like having everything keyed together. It's much more convenient. Take a quick look at that. You know, a little bit of chafing, no appreciable signs of wear. Looks nice and clean. So a little bit of aluminum powder. I would assume that's what it is, just from wear and chafing. Now this is the slider. I'll take that off. Of course, it still slides nicely. You can see inside, a little bit of black marks in here. I'll give it a quick wipe down with a clean part of the rag. Just a little bit of dirt. So after 1,000 miles, it's actually doing really well. This is the stainless steel ball. I asked WaySafe about what they recommend for grease. They recommend using dry graphite lube, which I like for lock lubrication and everything else. It does go on pretty black. However, it's a whole lot cleaner than grease. We'll just clean this off. Other than some wear marks, I mean, it's in really good shape. This is the new one for comparison. So it really held up well for 1,000 miles. What I had mentioned earlier about the scale failures is that this is actually a hydraulic scale. There's some oil in here. You fill it with, I don't know, one of these two set screws here, and you adjust the gauge by putting a wrench in here, and you can make it straight. But this comes out. I'll show you how that works. Really simple, actually. You just pull this pin out, retention pin, which I'll take a look at now. Tiny bit of wear. I will probably put some lube on that, some graphite lube. Wipe that off, and you can see what's actually there. It's just a tiny bit of chafing. So then the ball just lifts out. And again, we'll inspect that. Definitely see some chafing. And I think this is what people were talking about. Let's see if I can demonstrate it. See this little bit of play right here? I guess over time that can become elongated. And you can see the wear pattern here, how it's thin on the sides, thicker in the front, and that's because it's rocking back and forth. You can see the same pattern on the bottom. I know people have had these for tens of thousands of miles with no real issues, but this seems to be holding up pretty well for 1,000 miles. I'm gonna spray some dry lube in here once I get it reassembled. That plunger on the bottom is actually a hydraulic piston, and it pushes down against fluid and makes the scale go up and down. So what WaySafe support explained to me is that this is considered a wear item because it's going up and down, you know, fractions of a millimeter, hundreds of thousands of times, if not millions of times going down the road, that eventually the seal wears out and it can leak oil, and then all of the oil's gone and then the gauge no longer works. So within the first year of ownership, they will replace that absolutely free. After a year, they'll send you out a rebuild kit, and it's pretty simple. People say that these tend to last 50 to 100,000 miles, sometimes less, sometimes more. Has a lot to do with what you're towing too. I'm barely scratching the potential on this with my trailer, but if I was always hauling at maximum payload, it definitely would wear faster. Let me just wipe out the inside here. No, it looks pretty good. Overall, I'd say it's very, very good quality. I really like the machining on it, the fit and finish. It's a beautiful hitch. So this itself, the shank, you can see a little bit of pitting. This is from where I towed the car trailer, and then this is where I've been using it the rest of the time. That's 80 miles worth of wear. This is probably 900 miles worth of wear. Really, it's very little. And pretty much nothing on this side. You can see a little bit more here and a little bit more on this surface here. So very, very clean. This is obviously from sitting inside the receiver hitch, and that'll definitely wear over time, but that's to be expected. I would like to get a hitch tightener because this has a tendency to rock back and forth inside my receiver. But overall, it's in really good shape. Let me quickly throw it back together. I am going to use this graphite spray. Just going to put a little bit in here. And that is basically pencil lead. It's dripping out the bottom. My mistake, I used too much. That's exactly why I wore gloves. But it creates a coating on the surface, and it prevents most of the wear. I'm going to put this pin back in. Now, you don't have to do this lubrication. It's just because I want to. I have it apart. I might as well. When you use the graphite lube, I would definitely recommend using gloves. So I'll slide this back into where I had it. So that locks back in. I'll put the dust cap back on. Good to go. And I'm really happy that you can leave it locked and then just click it on. That way you don't have to put it in and twist the key like my old one. There is a rubber O-ring in there. Just a little rubbing alcohol takes this dry lube right off. Just wanted to get it nice and pretty again. After 1,000 miles, I would definitely have to say I'm happy with my WaySafe hitch. I am going to be getting a hitch tightener just to stop the wiggling. That's nothing against the WaySafe hitch. In fact, I would be using the one I used to have, except it broke, so I need to get a new one off of Amazon. I think the fit and finish on it is excellent. I really think it's an elegant hitch. I think it's a great idea to have the built-in scale. Initially, I was a little concerned about it wearing out. Since the integrated tongue scale is covered by a lifetime warranty, it means that you don't have to worry about it in the future. Of course, you can tow with any standard hitch, but it's really, really nice having that scale built in. I'm the kind of guy that really likes features and gadgets like this, so this is right up my alley. If you're in the market for a WaySafe hitch, make sure you use the discount code STONYBOOT at checkout, and that'll save you 15% off your order. A big thank you to WaySafe for sending this out for me to try out. I love it. I 100% recommend it. If you guys found this video informative or helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I think that covers just about everything. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.